Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday, June 4th, 2025 regular council meeting. I feel we're a very chatty bunch this morning. I think the sunshine is out and we're very excited that summer is maybe finally here again. I will call the meeting to order at 9:05 a.m. and I'll ask everyone to stand for the singing of the national anthem. And I'll also ask, when you are singing the national anthem, like, you keep in mind that today is the first day for the Oilers bringing the cup home. So the game's tonight. So sing it like we're at the center there.
Sing it like you mean it.
Sing it like you mean it. Bring home that cup.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, hath told us to serve our God on His body. Says one keep alive. Sends can we stand on Canada, we stand on stand on.
Now bring home that cup, right? Okay, are there any additions to the agenda this morning?
Madam Mayor, no additions from administration.
Thank you. Any from council? And before we kick into the agenda, I just want to say welcome to Ms. Jocelyn Whaley. This is your first council meeting as our new CAO, so welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you and things running just as smoothly as they have been. And yeah, just really fortunate to have you in that seat. And yeah, looking forward to what the year in the future brings for us in the community. So thank you for accepting.
Thank you.
Is there a member of council that would like to approve the June 4th, 2025 regular meeting of council minutes? Councillor Gavanna, thank you very much for that. All in favor? That is carried. Are there any corrections or amendments to the May 22nd, 2025 regular meeting of council minutes? Is there a member of council who would like to approve those, please? Councillor Sheriff, thank you very much for that. All in favor? That is carried. We have two proclamations this week. The first proclamation is Seniors Week. It's been very busy in our community with lots of seniors activity and events happening. So it's been a pleasure to be out and visiting with the seniors this fine week. Seniors Week is June 2nd to June 8th, 2025, whereas senior citizens have made and continue to make many contributions that strengthen our community, town, and province. Seniors are a vital part of our families, and by giving generously of their wisdom and experience, they enrich our daily lives. Whereas many seniors are active, and by challenging the stereotypes of aging, they are leading the way for future seniors. Whereas a more positive attitude towards aging is creating new opportunities for seniors. Whereas by highlighting awareness of senior citizens, their achievement, value, and contributions will continue to be recognized and celebrated. Therefore, I, Mayor Nancy Dodds, on behalf of the Council for the Town of Drayton Valley, do hereby proclaim the week of June 2nd to June 8th as Seniors Week 2025 in the town of Drayton Valley, dated this day of June 4th, 2025. So thank you to all the seniors for being the pillars and leading the way and shaping our community. Next up, we have...
Has anyone seen my glasses? This is a senior's moment right now. Are they on your desk there? On yours, Pat?
In recognition of Seniors Week,
Can't hear a thing, can't see nothing.
did you bring them?
Here, there's somewhere.
They're somewhere, okay. Oh, that's funny. You did have them on. You've been very chatty and all over this morning, so they could be anywhere. Maybe they're out in the back table or something. We'll find them for you shortly. That's funny. Next up, our second proclamation is for Lemonade Day, which is June 14th, 2025. Lemonade Day is a fun community-based program that teaches youth the fundamentals of entrepreneurship through the time-honored tradition of operating a lemonade stand. And whereas the program provides a unique hands-on experience for children with support from Community Futures Capital Region, parents, mentors, and local organizations plan, launch, and run their own small businesses, gaining valuable skills in entrepreneurship, budgeting, marketing, customer service, and responsibility. And whereas Lemonade Day encourages community collaboration with local businesses supporting budding entrepreneurs through partnerships such as the Lemmy Lease, fostering a spirit of mentorship and economic awareness. And whereas Community Futures plays a key role in delivering the program in our region, guiding and inspiring the next generation of leaders and business owners through pre-event training and local judging on Lemonade Day. Therefore, I, Mayor Nancy Dodds, on behalf of the Council for the Town of Drayton Valley, do hereby proclaim the day of June 14th, 2025 as Lemonade Day in the Town of Drayton Valley, dated this 4th day of June 2025. Another exciting proclamation for our community. I've seen several young entrepreneurs out about in the community selling lemonade and juice and everything over the last couple warm weeks. So it's nice to see the young business adventurers in our community. So thank you for that. So that wraps up our two proclamations this morning. We still haven't found your glasses.
I have a spare pair.
Okay, you will go grab.
Normally you have a spare pair everywhere.
Thank you for that. We have two public hearings this morning. Our first up is statutory public hearing bylaw 2025-04D amendment, which is for additional districts. We are going to be doing something a little bit different this morning. So I do have a little bit of a script for the process of our statutory hearing. So bear with me as I move through this for bylaw 2025-04D. I will declare the public hearing open at 9:12 a.m. And I am the Mayor of Drayton Valley, Nancy Dodds. So on behalf of Council, I would like to welcome you all here today. I will be the chair of the public hearing. All of Council is present. We have members of the gallery present, those online, and I'd like to take a moment for introductions.
Not all of council is present, ma'am.
Oh, sorry, not all of Council is present. We have Councillor, thank you for that. We have Councillor Evans that is absent from this public hearing. If we could mark that on the record, thank you for that. So the secretary of the hearing is Ms. Jocelyn Whaley. She is the Chief Administrative Officer for the Town of Drayton Valley. We require a list of potential speakers for this public hearing. So any persons who have joined the meeting and are wishing to be heard from the gallery, please give your full name now. There'll be an opportunity for comment a little further in the public hearing. So I will pause if there's anyone that's wanting to speak and give comment to this public hearing. Anyone online, Nathan? Okay, perfect. So now we will move into the public hearing for bylaw 2025-04D, which is now open. The secretary will now announce the purpose of the hearing.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The purpose of the hearing for the Council of the Town of Drayton Valley is to hear testimony from interested parties regarding bylaw 2025-04D, an amendment to the land use bylaw for amending and adding additional districts.
Thank you for that. So there are some ground rules of the hearing. This is not meant to be a debate between presenters. All comments must be directed to the council through the chairperson, and only one person may speak at a time, and each person wishing to do so provide input to council, and they will have the opportunity to do so. So first, I will ask that Ms. Whaley speak on behalf of administration to outline the facts and present the recommendation on the proposed bylaw.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and all of council. The town has received a number of requests over the last number of years to build multi-parcel subdivisions with parcels larger than the 1 acre currently permitted in the land use bylaw. In order to allow continuity development closer to the town boundaries with our adjoining municipality, it is sensible to have similar districts as municipal neighbors. Therefore, we're proposing amendments to the residential acreage district and the creation of the residential compact acreage district. This will allow in the residential acreage district parcels from 3 acres to 25 acres, and in the compact district, 1 acre to 3 acres. This is in alignment with the sustainable infrastructure planning and has been at the request of multiple developers in the town. We do have one public input that was sent in, which I'll read into the record. This is from Rob McIntosh, who sends his regrets for not being able to attend. He's behind fire lines in northern Saskatchewan, unable to get here. So please accept this letter as email of submission in favor of the above land use bylaw 2025-04, creating 2 new land use districts, revised residential acreage and residential compact acreage. Excuse me, sorry. As discussed previously with administration, Sawyer Developments owns 2 quarter sections within the town boundary, one of which is 1/3 developed and subdivided, Westview Industrial Park, and the remainder in agricultural use, and the second of which is purely in agricultural use. Both are at the boundary with Brazeau County, and under the current zoning and land use plan, this land is effectively sterilized for further development unless we were to create additional districts. Heavy commercial parcels out of the land, a use for which there will never be a market. We had 3 lots on the market in Westview for 12 years with price reductions at nearly 50% that never sold. We have 7 additional adjacent parcels that could also be developed and subdivided along our existing infrastructure in Westview Industrial. They are highly unlikely to ever be sold, with the possibility of future large-scale growth in the region. It is not our intent to rezone these lots at this time. There are at least 4 or 5 other developers with unsold industrial, commercial, and residential lots in town who have similar capacity to create new lots. Town administration and council will be aware that there is a large surplus within the town boundary of empty and underutilized developed parcels already developed with buildings, as well as an excess of bare lots that are already subdivided and serviced, ready for industrial, commercial, or residential use, should the demand return over the next few decades. In addition, there are more adjacent lots closer to the services that have better future potential, even after all those lots are developed and sold. Due to the town's ambitious and successful large-scale annexation of county lands nearly 15 years ago, there are still additional lands designated for future industrial, commercial, or high-density residential that will sit idle for many decades, or forever, unless an appropriate larger acreage residential land use district is created. With appropriate districts, certain lands can be appropriately rezoned and subdivided, permitted development for use that are and can be in demand and will be needed. Our market analysis and conversations with our regional realtors show there is strong demand for small agricultural, rural residential acreages subdivided out of the currently agricultural lands along the town boundaries. If the acreage size is in the 3 to 25 acre parcel size, larger acreage residents desire the ability to continue with current and new appropriately scaled agricultural uses for horses, a few cows, small livestock, market gardens, indoor farming, and greenhouses. The immediate benefit to the town of Drayton Valley of creating land use districts include the ability of landholders to sell parcels at reasonable prices and move them into the development pathway in support of the town's growth initiatives, a significant number of large residential and small ag building developments and other acreage land improvements leading to immediate growth in the property assessment base and tax revenue, attracting and holding new residents and employees for local businesses who desire being in or very close to the town of Drayton Valley for access to recreational amenities, shopping, and services, often by cycling or walking in seasonal weather, but still desire the lifestyle and benefits of acreage living. Additional sales and growth for businesses providing sales and services to the acreage owners, increased local food growing and small agricultural activity within the town supporting environmental sustainability and climate action goals, and increased support and funding for outdoor recreational pathway and green space development for the benefit of current residents, as well as to attract retirees and other new residents into the community. With regard to the specific bylaw, please accept the following edits. Multiple references, the 25 acre upper size limit is, I believe, as intended and appropriate according to our research, our lot developments. However, however, there appears to be an error on the conversion to hectares, and it should be approximately 10 hectares. We suggest that by encouraging the town to supply and the developer to obtain municipal water and sewer to these larger lots at the far boundary, the town is unnecessary and likely to be very expensive for the town and for future ratepayers and utility users. For the larger lots at a lower density level, it will be extremely expensive on a per lot basis and is not economically wise. Larger lots above 10 acres and up to 25 can easily support water on their own well and also are suitable for modern standalone septic tank and septic field technologies that are clean and approved by Alberta Environment and do not have the default to pump out. Therefore, we recommend amending 5.1.5 along the lines of new smaller lots at the smaller end of the size range created for the district should be connected to both the municipal piped water and municipal wastewater collection system whenever economically feasible. New lots at the larger end of the size range created for this district may, at the discretion of the town of Drayton Valley, be so connected if alternate on-site services are not feasible and if proximity and parcel density warrant. Note, this is just to protect your cost exposure for both capital and operating cost.
That's it?
Yep.
Thank you very much for that. And that is all of the comments that we've received for
That is
from
the
administration.
only comment that has been received on this bylaw.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So from the members of the public who are wishing to be heard in favor of the bylaw, I now call for comment. Anyone online, Nathan? Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard who are opposed of the bylaw? Anyone online? I will now give Ms. Willie the opportunity to present the closing remarks and address any of the issues that were presented.
I have nothing further to add, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from councillor? You'll have the opportunity to ask questions later. It's only for clarification, so not for opinions or comments. No? Okay, perfect. Thank you for attending the public hearing. I declare the public hearing closed at 9:21 a.m. And that is our first public hearing that we had. Next up, we have 5.2, which is non-statutory public hearing for business licensing bylaw 2025-02D. I will now declare the public hearing opened at 9:22 a.m. I am the chair. I am the mayor of Drayton Valley, Nancy Dodds. I will be chairing the hearing on behalf of council, and I'd like to welcome everyone here today. All of council, except for Councillor Rick Evans, is present. And then we have the secretary of the hearing, Ms. Jocelyn Whaley. She is the chief administrative officer for the town of Drayton Valley. If we have anyone that's looking to speak to this particular non-statutory public hearing, I would ask that you please give your full name now. Anyone online, Nathan? Okay. So the public hearing for bylaw 2025 is now, or 2025-02D is now open, and the secretary will now announce the purpose of the hearing. Ms. Whaley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The public hearing for bylaw 2025-02D is for the business licensing bylaw.
Thank you for that. So the ground rules are the same as we heard earlier of the hearing. This is not meant to be a debate between presenters, and all comments must be directed to council through the chairperson. Only one person may speak at a time, and each person wishing to provide input to council will have the opportunity to do so. I will hand it now back over to Ms. Whaley to speak on behalf of administration to outline the facts, present the recommendations, and any comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To all members of council, council has been presented with multiple iterations of an updated business licensing bylaw. And after previous economic development meetings, it was recommended to include business recompense in the section for a return on investment for businesses. The following items have been included now in the draft business license bylaw. A business license application or renewal will include the opportunity for a free fire inspection for those who are not mandatorily requiring it. Each business license will include a membership in the business support network, and each business license offers the ability to participate in the trespassing agent program where applicable. These sections do not apply to businesses existing externally to the town of Drayton Valley and Brazeau County regions. First reading for this was held on May 7th, and this is the non-statutory public hearing to hear feedback on it.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. I will now call for comments from members of the public who are wishing to be heard in favor of the bylaw. Anyone online, Nathan? Are there any members of the public that are opposed to the bylaw? Anyone online, Nathan? Okay, then I will hand it back to Ms. Whaley for the opportunity to present closing remarks or address any of the issues. There wasn't any issues, any amendments, so any other closing remarks?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There were no comments received at all from this, and I have nothing else to add.
Perfect, thank you for that. Are there any questions from councillors for clarification only? Councillor Gamana?
Good morning. Thank you. On the fire inspection, that's one of the three topics, I guess, that we've added. Have we done that before, or this is a new addition for renewals?
Thank you, through the chair, to Councillor Gamana. This is an addition for people who wish to just have a fire inspection and are not mandated, such as restaurants. There are those that are mandated to have fire inspections. This is just offering it for good practice
For the others?
for the others.
Okay, it's optional.
Optional.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. So if there's no further questions for clarity and comments, I thank everyone for attending the public hearing, and I declare the public hearing closed at 9:26 a.m. And that wraps up both of our public hearings. We have no delegations this morning and no business arising, so we'll jump right into our decision items. Our first decision item is 8.1, Bylaw 2025 4D, which is the amendment to the land use bylaw, addition of districts second and third reading. Ms. Whaley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The recommendation, as you've just heard through the public hearing, the recommendation for this is to give second and third reading to Bylaw 2025-04D amendments to the land use bylaw.
Thank you for that. Any questions for administration this morning? This is for the residential compact. Councillor McGee?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning, Ms. Whaley. What comes to my mind is and you'll be able to give us some guidance. In the county of Brazos, we have the one parcel out thing that comes up, and why I bring it up is because there was a lengthy discussion at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities about going from one parcel out to three parcels out, and a lot of folks are against that because it starts to separate farm and goes into urban. So that kind of thinking, and so the question is about here in Drayton Valley. I understand the comments made by Mr. McIntosh, and they make sense. What we have to be, of course, is cautious of what could actually happen, and sort of, get that sort of 1,000-foot view. Maybe it was never on.
It went off.
And so the reality of it is we need to be able to expand. And when you say 2, 3, 25, so there's a lot of questions in here. And then Mr. McIntosh made the sense that if you're this size, you must hook up to sewer and water, whatever size that is. But we also have a developer that's saying, do I have to do that because it's not near me? It's a costly thing to get sewer and water. So can we just walk through that a little bit to better understand just what we're up to? Sorry.
Through the chair to Councillor McGee, several topics there. So the first one I'll address is I've seen many land use bylaws throughout the province in rural municipalities that allow for anywhere from only one parcel out of an unsubdivided quarter section to 5 parcels out of an unsubdivided quarter section. These are not strictly full quarter sections that have no subdivisions out of it within the town boundaries. And although they are generally being operated in agricultural use, they are zoned commercial or industrial, as Mr. McIntosh pointed out in his letter, where after the annexation, it was hoped that that would be developed into commercial or industrial land, and it just doesn't seem to have developed that way over time. Your mic just went off again. In regards to the sewer and water, the discussion would be with a developer on whether we would have to pipe it out and there would be possibility of cost sharing or capital project planning, that would all be done with the developer in the times that they want to develop things, where it's practicable and where it isn't. And he makes a very solid point. In the larger acreages, it may not be necessary. So, but I believe the districts have been written to say may, so that the town can work with the developer.
Any further questions, Councillor McGee?
I think I really don't, because I really want this to happen. It's just that I just know that there was quite a bit of concern in rural Alberta about the whole 3 parcels out, 5 parcels out. We're building urban centers outside of the boundaries of the community of Drayton Valley, and instead it should be farming and urban should stay urban. That was sort of the basic premises, and I get that. Made sense to me. But at the same time, we must have quarter sections in our annex land.
We absolutely have quarter sections in our annex land. It's just that there is some development currently on it. It's not undeveloped. So whether it's a farmhouse and they are actually practicing agricultural practices, or whether it's a shop doing a mechanics work, but we don't actually address unsubdivided quarter sections within the land use bylaw.
So if I come to the town, I have a quarter section that is just being farmed at the moment, and I want to put a 25 parcel, in our bylaw, it's going to say you may, and we'll have a discussion about it. Is that how it works?
For clarification through the chair to Councillor McGee, do you mean that they are coming in wanting to do a subdivision with 25 lots in it, or you're coming to the town and you want to have a subdivision that is 25 acres out of a quarter section?
Either way. It's a may.
We would
It's a
work with
may.
them either way.
It's a
Yes.
may.
Yes,
We'll figure it out.
100%.
Okay, thanks.
Any other question, Councillor Gamana?
Thank you. I guess about the utilities and all of that. So that side of things pretty much stays the same, right? This is just a new zoning category. Just from my understanding, the town's responsibility is still to bring the water and sewer and all the utilities up until the I guess the end of the or beginning of the land, right? So.
Through the chair to Councillor Gamana, historically, I believe, and forgive me if I'm incorrect, but from what I've researched, historically, it was more developer driven and the developer was being asked. We would like to work with developers to get the utilities there, and there's always ways to work together to get that to happen, so.
Right, yeah, that's case by case basis.
Absolutely.
Okay, but for
This is
the
just
bigger picture.
options for districts, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor Clark.
This is more of a comment. It's just, I mean, I think this is a good thing. It provides some variety in terms of residential in our town, and we can't just have mirage everywhere. We can't have everything, small parcel, right? So I think it's a fantastic thing, and I think I'm in favor of it. And of course, I mean, there's pressures with the, utilities, right? And I think that comes in time, when you start filling in around those, that's when you start to have those conversations. And I think for now, I'm more than happy to have drilled wells and on-site septic systems, so.
Thank you for your comment. With that, would you like to make a motion for?
Second reading, ma'am.
I don't have, oh, here it is. Okay, yeah, for second reading for
Yep.
bylaw, please.
Excuse me. I will move that council gives second reading to bylaw 2025-04D, amendment to land use bylaw, amendment and addition of districts.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Councillor Gamana?
Yeah, I just want to echo Councillor Collins' comments there. I think, having more options for developers and the community to look into, hopefully will bring more projects and more housing to the community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. I echo those both from Councillor Clark and Councillor Gamana. I think this is a great way to encourage growth and to see some of our developers start developing and growing our community, and it gives that variety like you had mentioned. I think this is something that, we've had a lot of developers come to us in the past and builders, looking for this. So now we're accommodating them and we're wanting to work with them to see, how we can make sure that they're successful and we're not putting up red tape and all sorts of getting in their way and everything. So I think this is a great, great opportunity to, just to see that growth in our community. Any further comments? Then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Is there a member of council who would like to give third and final reading for the bylaw, please? Councillor Gamana?
Thank you. I would like to make a motion that council gives third and final reading to bylaw 2025-04D, amendment to land use bylaw, amendment and addition of district RFD-25-138. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Councillor McGee?
Just one, I note that and under the recommendations from administration that we were just working on second, but it's obvious that we're going to third.
Yes, through the
Yeah.
chair to Councillor McGee, apologies, the printing did not follow through on that one.
I think the recommendation is for both. It just, one is from one page yet to the other.
Well, there's more pages.
There's another page there. Yeah. That's funny.
Get those glasses checked.
Oh, so there is a motion on the floor to give a third and final reading for bylaw 2025-04D to the amendment of land use bylaw, the amendment and addition of districts RFD 25-138. I just want to say thank you to Ms. Whaley for getting out and talking to the developers in the community and listening to their needs and getting their feedback so we could bring something like this forward to not get in their way. So thank you very much for that. I will now call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. And that wraps up 8.1 of our decision items. Next up is 8.2, bylaw 2025-02D. Business license bylaw, second and third reading. This is Ms. Whaley as well this morning.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As presented in the non-statutory public hearing, this is the business license bylaw 2025-02D with the inclusions of the items as discussed in non-statutory, and I'm willing to take any questions beyond that.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions for Ms. Whaley this morning? So just a question. So part of our business licensing bylaw, it's listed here that the draft business bylaw will include business license application or renewal, which includes the fire inspection, membership in the business support network. Business license offers the ability to participate in the trespass agent program. Can you tell us a little bit about the trespass agent program and this business support network? Just for the viewers online, we have been receiving some of the questions. I guess some of the questions were, does this take away my rights as a business owner? Can people just come in and what does this provide? So can we just get a little bit of clarity on that, please?
Absolutely. To all members of council. So the business support network is a collaboration between the University of Alberta, Brazeau County, the government of Alberta, and the town. It is to both support businesses in their current needs and to work with businesses on succession planning and bringing in secondary and tertiary support businesses for the area. The mandate of the Business Support Network is to be in the community supporting the businesses and assisting them with specific things that they require. So in some cases, it might be marketing differently than they have done for a long-range business that has always used a newspaper. Maybe an expert is brought in to assist them with social media marketing or online marketing. So that would just be one example of things. So
Perfect.
in the case of the trespassing agent program, we do actually have the lead CPO here. If he would like to speak to it, he could probably do it better justice than I will.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Rossing. Thank you for speaking to this.
Absolutely. Good morning. So the trespassing agent program was brought in after kind of ongoing concerns with business members of the community with a little bit of loitering and vagrancy that was happening within their buildings. So The program is intended that if a business owner or representative authorizes either Drayton Valley Enforcement Services or the Drayton Valley RCMP to act as an agent on their property under the applicable trespassing legislation, that prevents people from, the business owners or the representatives, from having to issue a trespass notice to the person or attend court to testify to the matter if it gets to charges and stuff like that. And it gives the authority to the officers to be able to do that. So it doesn't give officers unfettered access into the building at 2 a.m. or anything like that. It is very much intended on, we'll act on behalf of the business owners and the property representatives to deal with those concerns. And we're not relying on them to have to take time off from running their business to go and sit in court, just testify to say, yes, I gave Johnny a trespass notice and he was here on this day. So very much intended to kind of streamline that process and keep the business owners working and not having to come and sit in court. So.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Any further questions for administration on this? Councillor McGee?
Just another obscure question. If we cut some red tape, we made it easier, we only have certain opportunities to do that, and we've been saying, let's do that. So does this get there?
Through the chair to Councillor McGee, effectively, there was not a whole lot of red tape in this other than you actually have to hold a business license to be a business or do business in Drayton Valley. That is just collecting money for a piece of paper at the time originally. This now offers something back in the way of service to the community. So although there was not a lot of red tape to cut, we are increasing our service level.
Perfect, thank you.
Good question. Thank you. And I like how when you spoke a little bit about the business support network, I was out in the community last week talking to some of the businesses that might be struggling a little bit just with inflation and, you know, rising costs of everything. So you hit on that one little thing when you talked about marketing online. So I think that's where so many people are shopping is online, right? So how do we get our businesses maybe that are selling out of their storefronts online so they can, you know, be opening up that market and their sales to a broader audience and buyers, right? So I think that's something that's fantastic for those that are signing up or getting involved with the business support network. You can learn how you can move your business online and you know, compete with Amazon and all those other crazy online businesses. So thank you for that. If there's no further questions, is there a member of council would like to make a motion, please? Councillor Sheriff? This will be for second reading.
I'll make a motion that council give second reading to bylaw 2025-02D business license bylaw.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Is there a member of council who would like to give third and final reading to bylaw 2025-02D? Sure. Councillor Sheriff?
All right. I'll make a motion that the council give third and final reading to bylaw 2025-02D business license bylaw.
Thank you for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. So that wraps up. No, we've got one more decision item there. I believe that this is this you still? Okay, this is Ms. Whaley. Business incentive bylaw. Well, I know what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Cody for the close. No. This is for business incentive bylaw 2025-03D for first reading. Ms. Whaley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To all members of council, this is a proposal for first reading for the non-residential tax incentive bylaw. So the purpose of this business tax incentive bylaw is to encourage companies to invest in Drayton Valley. It supports both new business and development and the expansion of existing businesses by offering tax relief on new developments with the intention to attract investment, stimulate economic growth, and create local employment opportunities. The financial implications to this would be that the municipality would collect less municipal tax at the beginning of a new business, but over time they would have more business attracted to the town. we are recommending a non-statutory public hearing be held on July 2nd to get feedback from businesses and to work with council's strategic priority of communication with the public. The recommendation today is to give first reading to that bylaw and set a non-statutory public hearing for July 2nd.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions for administration this morning? I guess my question is, so if I'm a new business and I'm wanting to open my doors, I have the opportunity for a tax incentive. If it's a new business, if it is, what would be, I guess, the criteria for that? It's all outlined in the bylaw, maybe just kind of the Coles notes.
This is in regards to building and expansion, Madam Mayor. So if I was to set up a new building, or I was to even be an existing business owner and renovate the building to the extent that the assessment of the building was increased by 25% or more, they would then qualify under this bylaw.
Okay, so the 25% or more of assessment value increase.
Correct. So if I'm purchasing a store in a freestanding building and I do nothing to renovate it and I just change the sign outside, that would not qualify. But if I go and buy a building and I renovate it to the point where it's 25% more in assessed property tax value, then you would qualify.
Perfect. And what about if I'm, I know we've talked about a little bit in the past about new businesses coming to the community, maybe that our community doesn't have, right? Creating that more diverse business opportunity and commercialization. Where would that fit? Would it fit in here, or where would it fit somewhere else?
Madam Mayor, that would fit in more with what the Business Support Network can do for attraction and retention as opposed to property tax relief.
Okay, so the Business Support Network, that we would go back to that if you're wanting to get creative and open up a hat store or a surf store or something like that in the community, and there would be another opportunity. Would there be incentives for that, or would that just be the support?
Those would come to council on a one-off basis. This is more a blanket bylaw, so.
Perfect, perfect, thank you. Any other questions, Councillor McGee?
Just following up on that, if I wanted to build a 50-unit complex for, low-cost housing, does it fit in here, or is that a separate piece I'm going to look at?
Through the chair to Councillor McGee, that would be a separate, this is for commercial and industrial business tax codes only. None of the residential codes apply to this bylaw.
So we're going to see another bylaw.
I would recommend that discussion happen in the Economic Development and Education Advocacy Committee for recommendations from council on what they would like to see.
Okay, it just, it seems to me if you had a tax incentive bylaw and you went to page 14, it would say, if you are coming to Drayton Valley, we have an opportunity for you to have a discussion with us about whether it's a tax incentive or it's land that is less than the market. I don't know. We haven't had that discussion though, right?
Through the chair to Councillor McGee, no, we have not had that discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Kamana?
Thank you. Just going on Mayor's comments there. Let's say, a business is already there and then they're changing hands, or they're changing the business from, let's say, one restaurant to another or one retail store to another. Would that trigger something here? Or?
Through the chair to Councillor Kamana, for clarification, let's specify your question. Do you mean like A&W vacates the building and McDonald's moves in?
Right.
This would not qualify.
Okay. The second question, again, along the line of Mayor's comments, I think we've discussed about creating a list of businesses that's not in the community and figuring out how we incentivize to have them in the community, right? So I didn't see that piece here as well. So I'm assuming that's another conversation and maybe a addendum to this or another bylaw that we will discuss.
Through the chair to Councillor Gamana, the Business Support Network team is actually working on the current list of business licensed within the area to separate and sort out what is and is not here. But that would not, again, not be dealt with in the business incentive bylaw. So it is in progress, but it's nowhere near complete.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. If there's no other questions for administration, is there a member of council who would like to make a motion for first reading today? Councillor McGee.
Madam Mayor, I would make a motion, the council give first reading to bylaw 2025-03D, which is a business incentive bylaw, and set a non-statutory public hearing for July 2nd, 2025, RFD 25-138.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. That wraps up our decision items for this morning. Next up is council reports. First up is Councillor Gamana. Oh, everybody's always so surprised.
Thank you. Just bear with me here. Yeah, since the last council meeting, I had the opportunity to attend the Public Works barbecue and the Public Works Week activities. On 23rd, I had the opportunity to ride on a sewer truck, I believe that it was.
What did you say?
Vac truck, HVAC truck, to dig a hole and replace a valve in a
Good job.
pipe. So yeah, it was a good experience. That was the only thing that I haven't done on the list of things. So this year I had that opportunity to do. So that was fun. The gentleman I work with was very helpful. So thank you for him for bearing with me while we did that. After that, I had the opportunity to actually go on the 19th to 21st for a system summit organized by University of Alberta. There was kind of eye-opener where we look at problems not as isolated problems, but as a system, and to figure out how we solve them with the bigger picture view, rather than trying to solve each individual problem in a community. So that was a good conference to attend. Other than that, I had DVHTA meeting, as well as Health Foundation meeting. Also on a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go to Rimbey. I'm sure Councillor Collins will talk about that further, for a RPAP meeting about healthcare in our region as well. So that's what happened for the last couple of weeks for me. That's it.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your report. Councillor McGee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, of course, Public Works Day for us was included a barbecue, and I got to ride with Justin. And Justin is a quiet young man that works for us, and we were in a sweeper. And the interesting thing that comes up, of course, is that as you're riding down the street and you're seeing the sign that says "Don't park" because we're sweeping the thing, well, nobody reads that sign, right? So so I thought, as I'm having those questions, I'm saying, well, why does that happen? Why are we up to towing, or are we not up to towing? So it was an interesting, and for him, he says, I'm just working here. Please don't draw me into politics. I don't know if we're going to, tow the vehicles, but it was just interesting for me to see it. And then just for me to get an opportunity to meet one of our staff in a safe spot, in a sense of, and exchange who we are children, where did you come from? Why did you get here? Those kinds of things. It was just absolutely outstanding. So really appreciated that opportunity. The next meeting was with Ryan and Patrick talking about healthcare needs assessment. So, and I think that's coming up in further discussion. I think I'm excited about that. So as we go through those discussions, we'll see what comes of it. Next piece was the West Central Airshed, 30th anniversary. Mayor Dodds had the opening remarks, and I think it went well. There were some people missing, but for Yvonne and her team, I think they did an excellent job. I've got a cartoon handout for everyone here to look at. It's quite interesting because it sort of puts some flavor to it and some fun to it, but it speaks about a serious thing about airsheds and how West Central Airshed it was really part of it. So that was a great afternoon. Then I went off to FCM. The highlights coming out of that where we connected with a number of the Brazeau County folks, which is sometimes you don't see people for sort of weeks, even here in Drayton Valley, but there we had an opportunity to have broader discussions. And I thought that went well. Krista Gardner, who is our town's west for AUMA or MA, she would like to come out to Drayton Valley, hold a meeting. And I said, that's perfect. Let's figure out how to do that. The new CAO as of January 1 is Dan Mackey. And so we spent considerable amount of time with him. That would be Alvera and Shelley, which is where that really should be. And so we've really made a good connection, the CAO of MA. And then the highlights were the Prime Minister was there. So Prime Minister Carney talked about Stronger Together. They started off with, and this is for you, Nathan, a film of Canada. It was a long film about, and people were just moving into their seats and things like that, and it was on the big screen, but it was absolutely outstanding. What it does for you when you're watching a film is that you're just thinking, my gosh, how big we are, how diverse we are, what's in our world, what's in our, of this big piece of Canada. And when you're finished watching it, you just think, okay, well, now you drill down and, my analogy of that is then we're going to have a discussion about the color of the washroom in the Omniplex. And we're going to spend too long at that, right? But I know how that works. But when you look at that, then you say Stronger Together. What does that mean? And so I am of the mind that we obtain that film and then cut it to be a little shorter. And we open our joint meeting with the Council of Brazeau. And so that once that film is done, we can then say better together, building stronger together, those kinds of things. And I thought Carney did just an outstanding job. I think he's going to be okay. We'll see how it goes. There was 2,500 delegates there from all across Canada. Melissa Landsman was the official opposition speaking. Gord Johns from the NDP spoke. And then the best speaker I've ever heard is Elizabeth May, and she's with the Green Party. She's the only person elected, and she gets the kind of attention that she deserves, because she really, and maybe when you're just that, you can just say what you want, right? I get that, but I just think she just did an absolutely outstanding job. So if you get an opportunity to see Elizabeth May speak, do so. The last speaker was National Chief Cindy Woodhouse she's the National Chief of our Indigenous people, and she also did a marvelous job. So Stronger Together, local strength, and national prosperity. And then I just got home the other day, so it was, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Next up is Councillor Clark.
Yep. I attended the RPAP RIMBY conference. It's a little closer to home than Ottawa. The CEO of RPAP was there, which was nice to see. She was pretty engaged, sat right beside me the whole time, listening to me cough. So it's a working group. There's lots of experience there. A couple of things I gleaned out of there. So there was the likes of Sundre, Pinoca, Rocky Mountain House, Sylvan Lake there. They share a lot of the same pains that we do locally. But every one of those communities has unique issues, just like we do. You know, doctors, those are always issues, staffing in general. There was a lot of jealousy though with the Grow Your Own group program. Lots of communities haven't even heard of it. So they were looking to see if they can get a part of it too. And I mean, I think we should be champions of that and helping every community, you know, get that in their communities, because I think it's a great thing. One of the things that caught my eye too was most communities have more service offerings than Drayton Valley, and in particular surgeries and procedures. You know, we have some, but they seem to have more and more complex ones. You know, we have an underutilized hospital, and I know we're working on helping to fill those, but you know, it seems that there's just so much just underutilization of rural hospitals in general, and I think Drayton's no exception, and neither were any of these. So the other delegates there. So anyway, yeah, good conference. Lots of sharing of ideas there, so it was good.
Thank you for your report. Deputy Mayor Sheriffs.
I agree with you, Colin. I've been talking about the hospital being underutilized for the last 3 years, but it's a constant work in progress, I guess. So on May 2nd, I attended the Pembina Synergy meeting, and it was really interesting. There was a presentation from Canadian Society for Evolving Energy, and they were talking about carbon capture, lithium extraction, helium, which is a little bit further behind, but working on it. And then one of the councillors from Brazeau County attended that meeting too, and he got talking to some other guys, and possibility of maybe testing for lithium in Brazeau area, which I thought, you know, would be pretty cool to bring something like that to our town. On the 23rd, I did the ride along with Public Works. I was on a sweeper and learned how uncomfortable the seats are. So I promised Dave I will work on that. And I think Shelley mentioned that she's already looking into ordering some new seats, because I needed to see a chiropractor 2 days later because it's a little bit sore. So I feel for Dave being on that thing for 10 hours every day. Yeah, it was fun though. On the May 28th, I went and attended the West Central Airship Society AGM and lunch, and got talking to Bridget, who is a deputy mayor from Yellowhead County. And she mentioned how Yellowhead County works with Hinton and Edson during budget, and they don't only cost share, but they revenue share. And it got me thinking that I will miss the Brazeau County joint meeting, but you know, Mayor Dodds also heard most of that, how they work. It would be probably maybe worth bringing up to Brazeau County, see how they would feel about it, because I think it's a really great way for all the municipalities to work together and build together, right? Because I mean, as good as our relationship is getting with the Brazeau County, there's so much more that can be done. So just bringing that up. That's it.
Thank you very much for your report. For myself, yes, I was part of Public Works Week, and I was barbecuing the burgers there on the Friday of that. Just a big thank you to all of our Public Works staff out there keeping our community clean and safe, and the work that you do. I also attended a charity golf meeting. We have the charity golf which is coming up on July 8th, hoping that people will be signing up their teams and getting involved, and July 18th, and hopefully you'll get your spot before there's no spots left. I also attended the 4-H show and sale. I was there for the morning kickoff and celebration, and just want to give a shout out to all the young 4-H kids for their hard work and their dedication and grooming and shining of the animals and just the great job they did. I know they were nervous and they all did a fantastic job. So great work to them and great skills that they have acquired. I attended as well the West Central Airshed, celebrated their 30th anniversary, thanking them for everything that they do and monitoring the air quality in and around our region and just having an opportunity to visit with other counselors and people in the community. That was nice. Lots of celebrating going on this month and then as well in June. On the weekend, I attended the Air Cadets ceremony in March. That was their review, their annual review, which is always nice. Their numbers have doubled, I believe, this year. So it was nice to see these fine young individuals polishing their boots, getting ready for the march and celebration. And they were nervous, all lined up there too. And so a big congratulations to them for their hard work and dedication and commitment to everything that they do. They'll be our future engineers and pilots and leaders and public servants and everything else. So it's great to spend some time with all of them. This week, we kicked off Seniors Week, and what a busy week it's been. Councillor Gamana and myself attended the shirt tie-dyeing at Seasons, and that was fun on Monday. We got to tie-dye some shirts with some seniors and listen to some conversation and sharing some stories and everything like that. It's funny that nobody really cares who we are, right? They're like, who are you? Why are you here? What are we doing kind of thing? And it's just funny to hear the stories. There was one gentleman that had shared with Councillor Gamana that he had turned 100. So we were quite excited about that. But then we were informed that that wasn't the case there, that he wasn't 100. He just wanted to, I just think, get us going or be excited, maybe have a celebration for him. But it's always just such a pleasure spending time with the seniors in our community. These are our community builders and our pillars, right? These are the people that volunteered and have given their time and worked hard and really shaped and built Drayton Valley. So it was a wonderful kickoff to Seniors Week, and we both have a very colorful shirt now because of that. We'll have to wear it on, I don't know, International Tie-Dye Day maybe or something.
I'm gonna wear that for the walk that we are gonna wear, right? So
For which walk?
walk a mile.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's a really good chance. Yeah, maybe I'll have to get mine. Mine's still in my plastic bag. It's still aging, fermenting, I guess. That's what you do. I have to wash it, get it ready. And then yesterday, too, was another Seasons event. It was the conference at Mackenzie Conference Center. It was an opportunity for the seniors to engage with our youth. So I know that there was volunteers from Frank Maddock High School and some of the other schools that were assisting with lunch and doing some of the sessions throughout the day. There was different organizations that were there, and it was just a lovely day celebrating the seniors and a little tea and luncheon there. So that was really nice as well. Prior to that, we had headed over, Councillor Gamana and I, to Barbarito for their grand opening in the community and did the ribbon cutting there. Tom Thompson had joined us and Jen as well as Kundi, so thank you for that. It was nice to do the little ribbon cutting there. And yeah, so it's just been a really busy couple weeks again, heading into another couple busy weeks with a lot of celebrations and things happening. So that wraps up my report. Is there a member of council that would like to accept the council reports as information? Councillor Clark, thank you very much for that. Next, we'll move into our roundtable discussions. I do have a couple things on here. I'll open it up for councillors first, what they would like to discuss under roundtable. Councillor McGee?
Sure, I can open. Today, we talked a little bit about business license bylaws, and we've been having some discussions about the south parking lot that's owned by the Alberta government and us. And I may not see that in the business license bylaw, but I think it does speak to, trying to figure out how we're going to try to manage that. And I'm hoping that after the last 3 or 4 years where we've had the discussion, we haven't advanced anything. And quite frankly, I don't know what to advance. It seems to me that it's about having communication with the folks that are down there, what would work best for you and for us and for our taxpayer. So it's something that we need to think a little bit about. I wanted to mention that in the cartoon for the West Central Airshed, you'll see a grandfather in there that looks like Cecil Anderson. So tie Cecil Anderson into that. And Cliff Whitelock was also there, and Cliff is 94 years old and still farming and still strong. And he was also recognized there. I had a conversation today, this morning with Dan at BCG. It's Seniors Day at Independence, so that's where you run into seniors. And so I've had a conversation with him, and all is well with him. There are things still happening. We just want to make sure that we stay in touch with Dan. We're going to talk a little bit, I think, about Alan Gansky. We saw a letter come back. He's an old timer. We talked about the parade and standing him up in the parade, but Alan Gansky also has an old Model T that he normally used to drive with Hazel in the parade. And so it's probably still there. And so if we kind of go around that, and one of us or I can help and really bring some attention to him. I think it's a great idea that we need to get through. They're under the North Saskatchewan Water Alliance. There is a new film out, and I was hoping Rick would be here because he'll probably speak to it later. There's a new film called A River Runs Through Us. And I think I haven't seen it, but I think we should make sure that we find out where it is and how it works, and what it looks like, because I think it'll be good. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Anybody have anything else? I do have a couple things. I'm going to bring up potholes. There seems to be an abundance of, potholes in the community, and a lot of comments coming in from residents asking, what are we doing? Why are we not filling them? And they have identified a few large sinkholes that they're referring to in the community. So I will ask Ms. Whaley maybe to just kind of walk us through what's happening with the potholes and how we're prioritizing them and what's going on there.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As potholes are reported, we especially reported to administration. Thank you to council for forwarding so many of them this week. The Public Works goes out, evaluates it. In some cases, we'll have marked it for safety reasons, and then they're prioritized in-house for filling with the appropriate type of fill for potholes. Those have to be filled differently for each thing. I believe, Nathan, do we have the General Manager of Operations online? We must be having technical difficulties. I apologize.
I'm here.
Oh, perfect.
We do.
Hello, Miss Terry. Did you hear my comments and question? We're getting quite a few comments or questions coming in from the residents regarding our potholes. How are we filling them? Why are they not filled? Why does there seem like there's a lot more this year? And what are kind of our priorities and our plan to get these filled?
Okay, yeah, we have identified quite a few that have compromised the subgrade below the asphalt. Those will be addressed with a complete patch, cut the asphalt out, repatch. However, we just have to wait for our paving crew to be in town to identify those or to address those ones. My apologies. The reason they were so bad this year is just due to that freeze-thaw cycles we experienced over the winter. It definitely did damage to the asphalt on our roadways, and we've identified multiple that are going to need extensive repairs, but they will be addressed this year. However, there's smaller ones, and it's kind of a juggling act right now with the cutting of the grass, and we're limited in staff and things like that. So we are planning on going out tomorrow for a full day to address some of these potholes. Some of them had been filled previously. However, they were filled during that thaw cycle. So while the frost was coming out of the ground, they didn't hold well. And we also had an equipment failure where our infrared machine that does the proper repairs had broke, and we had to get it fixed. So there's been multiple challenges with this. However, they are going to be going out tomorrow for the full day to address those really big concerning ones, and any of the smaller ones we've identified as well.
Perfect. So you've identified that we've had multiple challenges, and you said that someone or the team will be going out tomorrow to address some of these. Is that using the machine that we had purchased a couple years back that I guess does it the cold? What's it called? Cold press, cold mix?
No, it's the infrared repairs. Yes, that is what will be going out tomorrow.
And that's the machine that we purchased.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so that will get some of the potholes in the community. Can we maybe be doing a little comms piece or doing something up, just maybe outlining that some of the things that Ms. Terry had mentioned here, and that we will have a team going out, just so people that are sending in the comments and that are calling us counselors and stuff like that, that they're heard and that they know that we are taking matters. We're listening to their concerns, as well as paving crew. We'll be addressing some of these, and we don't have a timeline on the paving crew, Ms. Terry?
Not yet. I do have a meeting next week, and I will be asking at what point will they be in town so that we can address quite a few of these.
Okay. And then when you mentioned limited staff, how many summer staff do we have? And then what type of, I guess, pressure or changes will we see over the summer between pothole filling, lawn cutting? Because lawn cutting is another thing that councils are getting a lot of feedback and comment, or, you know, why isn't the public areas from the town being mowed and things like that? So I know a couple years back, we had hired some contractors to help get us caught up. Maybe you can comment, is that something we need to look at, or just what are you thinking? I do see Miss Whaley's light on, so maybe I'll go to Miss Whaley first and then I'll go to Miss Terry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In regards to the staffing issues, we will bring an updated report to the GNP to let council know at that time what the possible needs and requirements are.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And did you have any further comments, Shelley?
I'm just going to state the fact that like they've been working really hard to mow the grass. Unfortunately, there's been rain events that happen throughout the day that kind of shut things down. And then the challenge with the dandelions. The dandelions grow much faster than the grass, so the grass isn't terrible. However, the dandelions make it look a lot worse than it actually is. And we've experienced challenges with the dandelions, and we are kicking off our spray or our weed spraying program here this year. But the challenges with the dandelions is we have to cut slower so that we're more effective. They impact our blades, the sharpness of our blades quicker. Also, the fluff of the dandelions tends to suck in through the air intakes, and our machines start to overheat. So it's the challenges with the dandelions is definitely evident. On the public works side, we have 3 big mowers that do our bigger green spaces. And those individuals also are the ones that would be filling the potholes. So that's where our challenge is there, is to juggle both of those and try to keep the town looking tip top. However, dandelion season is almost over here. So I think we'll see some much relief in the near future on our cutting efforts. So I do not think that contracted services are required at this time.
Okay, thank you for that. Does council have any other questions for Ms. Terry while she's online in regards to these things? Councilor Gramana?
Thank you. I just had a community member reach out to me. He has a engineering background as well, and was observing about the mix that we use for temporary pothole filling. And the concern was that maybe the mix is not right, or it's too soft, or if there's any improvements that we could do, even though it's temporary, which we understand. It should at least last until we get the permanent filling ready to go. So I don't know much about potholes or pothole fillings or anything like that, but just wanted to pass that information and see if there's anything that we can improve on that front.
So thank you.
Shelley,
for the
Shelley, I'm
question.
going to take this one.
Yeah, thank you for the question. We've reached out to multiple different municipalities to ask what product they use. They are using the same product we use, which is called Easy Street, until they can get a hot asphalt, which generally doesn't open till mid-May, once once we know snow is done. Easy Street is a really good product. It's just a matter of our timing. So the potholes kind of popped up pretty quick, and because the frost hadn't left the ground, our repairs aren't holding. However, we're confident that now the frost is gone, that they'll hold up a lot better, as long as our machine is functioning and performing the way it should. We should see some relief here right away. It's just, again, trying to juggle all the tasks we have to get done so that we can prep for line painting and crack sealing and all those as well. So it's just a kind of a juggling thing right now, but we will get them under control.
Ms. Whaley, did you have any further? No? Okay, thank you. Yeah, it seems to be that time of year. We have potholes, we have dandelions, we have lawn cutting, we have line painting, we have a lot that is happening. And yeah, so we seem to get an increase in concerns and questions from the residents. So we have to be sure that we're bringing those forward to figure out why things aren't getting done and how processes work and things like that. So appreciate your comments. Just a couple other things I just want to mention today, that there is the RCMP open house that is happening. That is June 14th. It's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the RCMP detachment. So head on down to meet the safety bear, paint the cruiser, and have some detachment tours. And I believe they're having a barbecue as well. So if you have an opportunity, head there. And then also we have graduations that are starting in our community. I want to say thank you to Miss Terry and the team for getting up the graduation banners. Lots of celebrating happening in the month of June. We have Holy Trinity Academy, 2025 graduates having their celebration this weekend. Frank Maddock High School is the following weekend. And then at the end of the month, we'll see outreach. We've seen some of the other little, I'm sure there's kindergarten graduations and all sorts of fun little graduations that are happening. So congratulations to everyone for your achievements, hard work, success, and in wrapping up the school year as well. For other roundtable items, we did have a few emails come through. They were stuck in our spam folder for a while. And now I see them kind of come to life. Did anybody want to speak about them, or have we taken care of them? I know there was an incident at the curling rink. That's back from May 4th. Did we take care of that?
Yes, Madam Mayor, that has been handled.
Okay, perfect. As well as Center Court site cleanup request. Have we seen that email come through?
That's in closed session.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, that's enclosed. Okay. Alan Gansky, you spoke about. Brighter Futures is having their AGM on June 11th. They've invited us, or sorry, June 18th. They've invited us. That is a council meeting day. So I think I'll just respond to them that thank you for the invitation. That was nice there. Just trying to think of anything else that we kind of have that's happening. I guess one other thing that's happening too, to kind of put it out there, is we have an upcoming session on June 19th for candidate information to be running as a councillor or the mayor. So we're inviting residents, those that want to throw in their name and become a candidate for this coming election that's coming up in October. So we invite you to come out on the evening of June 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be counselors and administration on site to answer any of your questions, to give you kind of a rundown of what it's like to be the life of a counselor, your duties, your roles, your responsibilities, how we balance all of that, how you stay informed about issues and matters in the community, skills and qualities that are most important for someone serving. So we invite you to come out for that and learn more on how you can get involved in the community. And that is it for me for roundtable discussion. I'm not sure if anybody has any final comments in regards to that. Okay, if there's nobody else, then we have information items, 3 information items this morning. 12.1, which is the 2025 LGFF funding letter that we've received. 12.2 is Brazeau Foundation meeting minutes, April 24th, 2025. And then we have 12.3, which is the council calendar for both June and July. June, there is, like I'd mentioned, lots of things happening still. Holy Trinity graduation. Saturday is the Living Spirit United Church Centennial Tea. Deputy Mayor Sheriffs will be going there to say a few words. We have Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, which will be happening next Wednesday at noon. So if you haven't registered, please register now. That will be happening here in front of the Civic Center. Frank Maddock High School, as I had mentioned, will be happening on June 14th. Drayton Valley Library Board, again, the candidate information session. And then there's the Small Town Big Party, which is happening on June 20th in our downtown core. That sure came up really quick. Kickstand launch is happening on June 25th. And yeah, that wraps up about June, as well as other things that are happening in the community. Is there a member of council that would like to receive these information items as information? Councillor Germana, thank you very much for that. All in favor? That is carried. And is there a member of council that would like to move us into closed session under FOIP section 17(1)A for the community standards bylaw order for unfit structures and extension request? Councillor Sheriffs. I guess you don't have the motion.
I don't have the motion, but I can make a motion to take council into closed session at 10:25.
Perfect. And that's under FOIP section 17(1)A. All in favor? That is carried.